Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good. They're usually under the radar. Not many people talk about them. I think at least you should do your research, try them for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have a kind of comparison between two fragrances which are, well, one of them is quite a big name and I mean, both of them are big names, but one of them is, at the moment, is quite trendy. And these two are, this is Creed Carmina, and I have a sample of it. I'm not going to pay £260, which is ridiculously overpriced, for a 75 ml. So that's why I got a sample of it. And this beauty, which is called Chopard Love. Chopard is a Parisian boutique house. Originally, they are from Switzerland. They started in about 150 years ago making watches. But slowly they ventured to the jewelry, and their main business now is jewelry and watches, plus very high-end jewelry, so very expensive. And they have few fragrances in their lineup, perfumes, fragrances in the lineup. I don't think they have many, probably maybe about 10 for men, 10 for women, so they're not extensive. But when they do perfume, they do it to perfection. Well, they have to, because they have a big name and they have a big reputation, plus attention to detail is everything for them, because they are jewelry making and watchmaking. So as you can tell, look at this beautiful bottle. It's just work of art. To me, this is one of the most beautiful bottles out there. Very beautifully designed, thick glass bottle, very heavy, beautiful coloring. The color is representative of the perfume itself. The cap is super heavy, it's about a kilo itself, is a combination of glass and resin, and in the hand is just mesmerizing. It's like, wow, this is a piece of art on its own. The atomizer, as you can see here, it says love. It's got a beautiful golden plaque on it, which is a heart shape, and it says love Chopard, and the atomizer is modern and gold. So basically, attention to detail is amazing. To me, this is much better presentation, bottling, coloring than Carmina by Creed. Carmina by Creed just came out 2023. This beauty came out around 3 years ago, the Chopard Love. And Carmina, as I said, for 75 ml of it retails for £260. For Chopard, retails for 100 ml, which is 25% more juice, for £110. But the good news about Chopard Love is you can find it discounted, almost very readily available, around £60 to £70. For that price, this is a bargain. So how do they compare? I got Carmina on this hand and Chopard Love on this hand. So let's see how they compare. But before I do that, let me tell you the ingredients in here. So basically, both of these are in the same category of fragrances, which are ambery rose, sweet amber rose. This is the short version of them. But they, although they are quite similar to each other, they are not 100% similar. They're not a copy of each other. If they are, who copied who? Because Chopard came out first 3 years ago. Anyway, so Carmina, although it's a rose inside it, is not a huge rose. It's mostly some rose, but mostly is about the cherry and some fruitiness, and also the amber and warm spiciness. With the Chopard Love, mainly is about rose, and more rose. There are 7 types of rose in the Chopard Love, and that makes it much deeper, much denser, much thicker, more broadband in terms of smell profile, and more complex than Carmina by Creed. So at least to my nose, for my experience and for my age. So both of these are around rose. So you need to like your rose, obviously, first and foremost. Second, these two are aimed for ladies in terms of marketing. But to my nose, both of these are quite unisex. Anybody can wear them. If you love your rose, you can easily wear them even if you are a man. I always say in my videos, if you like a perfume, you wear it. If you don't like a perfume, you don't wear it. It doesn't matter who is targeted towards, because smell, perfumes, these things don't have gender. It's all marketing at the end of the day. Anyway, so let me read you the ingredients for Chopard Love first. So as I said, there are so many different roses in here. So we got damask rose, Taif rose, we got Bulgarian rose, we got rose again, and we got Moroccan rose, and we got Turkish rose. So as I said, 7 different kind of rose in here, and you will smell it. You will smell a huge, massive, bold rose in here, and the rose in here is sweet, is jammy. But because there are so many of them in here, so many different kind of rose in here, there are so many facets to it. It's like basically 3D. It's like you're smelling a big rose bush in a 3D. It's just mesmerizingly beautiful, as I said, to me at least. And then we have jasmine, we got orange blossom, we got patchouli, we got honey, we got sandalwood, we got cacao, we got vanilla, cedar, tonka bean, and sugar. So as I said, this is mainly about rose, and everything else is just nuances to highlight the rose or support the rose and make the rose even prettier and even more dimensional and even more multifaceted. After the massive rose, which is almost everything in here is rose, the other things I smell is basically the sweet vanilla plus that tonka, giving it a little bit of nuttiness, sweetness from 0 to 10. When it opens up from 0 to 10, 10 being the sweetest, this is the Chopard Love is around 7 to 8 in terms of sweetness. So it's very sweet. So you need to like your sweet fragrances. Later on, it will subside a little bit in terms of sweetness, but it doesn't go away. Maybe a point or two in terms of subside in terms of sweetness. The rose from beginning to the end is always there. So rose. Okay, so this is about rose. You need to like your rose. You need to love your rose. You need to basically be somebody who loves rose. And this is a massive dose of rose in here. Honey giving it that gooey feel. So that gooey, warm, inviting, and basically captivating feel, apart from the rose, comes from the honey. The honey here is gooey and sticky, so you need to like your honey as well. Sandalwood giving it smoothness. So the combination of the sandalwood, the vanilla, and the jasmine here making it very smooth. So overall, this is a very smooth fragrance, very well blended. From beginning to the end, nothing is out of place, nothing is too much or too little. Although it's a massive dose of rose, obviously this is a rose fragrance, but the perfumer for this is Mr. Alberto Morillas. He's one of the most famous perfumers out there, and he's done a beautiful job in here. Although majority of his fragrances I personally don't get along with that much, but this one is exception to the rules. He's done a perfect job in here. So in terms of ingredients, it's very high standard quality of ingredients in here. To my nose, this is better than Carmina. It's just surprisingly that this one is much cheaper than Carmina, but it is much better blended, better quality of ingredients in here, and the smell is, at least to me, is much more sexy and better done. If you like your sexy rose, this is, you cannot beat it for the price. Carmina, although the rose is there, but rose is not huge. Mainly is about cherry, fruity, cherry, little bit of sweetness. In the Carmina, everything is like just a hint, just a little bit. So if you like it subtle, if you don't like massive, bold, and in your face fragrance or perfume, which is the Chopard Love is, Carmina is a better alternative in terms of that, because it's much subtler and less intrusive, less in your face. It's much more subtle. It's not much of anything in here, just a hint of this and a hint of that. But to me, Chopard Love is the king here by far, by a mile, especially for the price. For £60–70, it puts Carmina into shame in terms of performance. Performance on Chopard Love is, on my skin, it goes over 12 hours. On materials like t-shirt, it goes for days, if not for weeks. So it's hugely strong, it's massive, it's very, very long lasting. In terms of projection, you get 2 arms of projection for at least 4 to 5 hours. Massive, massive projection. It's a room filler, house filler, the other side of road filler. You don't need more than 5 sprays of this. It's so strong, it would take over, people will smell you before you enter the room or before you enter the building. So it's very, very strong. You have to control the trigger. This one is very, very versatile. You can use it in summer, in winter, anytime, but it is a little bit better suited for cooler weather. In warmer weather, less sprays. In cooler weather, more sprays. As I said, 5 sprays, that was more than enough to fill the room, fill the house, people smell it from the other side of the road. So very, very strong and dense. Carmina, on the other hand, it didn't last that long on my skin, around 6 hours or so, maybe if you push it to 7 hours. On t-shirt, it goes up to 8 to 9 hours. So Carmina is much weaker. It's more expensive, ridiculously more expensive, and much weaker in terms of performance. In terms of perfumery and ingredients and smell, again, is much behind Chopard Love, at least for my taste, for my nose, for my experience. So overall, I highly, highly recommend this beautiful fragrance, this beautiful bottle. If you are a lover of rose, especially sweet, jammy rose, this is super beautiful, super sexy, super sensual, very alluring, very captivating, and it's just basically rose in a 3D. You can feel the rose in many facets and many dimensions. Carmina by Creed, on the other hand, is much simpler, it's much more subtle, and is very laid back. And some people like that. Some people like laid back fragrances. They don't want to be the perfume and the fragrance shout too much for them. So if you are in that category, probably Carmina is better for you. But for me, anytime, any day, I will take Chopard Love over Carmina in any category. Okay, guys. Let me read you the ingredients for Carmina, just for people who are interested. So Carmina, in terms of notes breakdown, we have black cherry, saffron, and pink pepper on top. In the mid, we have May rose and peony and violet and cashmere wood. And in the base, we have ambroxan, musk, myrrh, and frankincense. That myrrh and frankincense, I don't smell that much of it. Just a hint, just giving it that body, just around that rose. Not much of it. Maybe I would have liked a little bit more oomph from other, like frankincense and myrrh, to give a little bit more oomph to it. To me, it feels very flat. It feels very flat, uninteresting, uninspiring. Although it's nice, although I like it, but I'm not crazy about it, especially for that price, £260 for a 75 ml. No way. If it was maybe, I don't know, a quarter of price, maybe, but for that price, no way this is that level of perfume to justify that big price tag. The other thing you have to remember, Carmina is much younger. Because of that fruity, ambroxany rose in here, a little bit of amber, and a little bit of that, as I said, the hint of those incense, you don't feel that much, it's a hint of it. it makes it much younger, which is again is crazy. You think, you know, Creed, for the name, they make something that is sophisticated, but in this case it's much simpler, and to me it's much younger. So probably younger generation, younger girls, younger ladies, or younger men will appreciate that more than the beautiful Chopard Love. Chopard Love is much more complex, much more sophisticated, is much more layered, is much more multifaceted, and that's why it makes it more mature and more sophisticated, and somebody who love their sophisticated and complex fragrance overall. Okay guys, so that was the comparison between these two perfumes. Let us know your experience, if you have them, if you know them, if you try them. Let us know your experience. That would be useful for others to read. If you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, valuable, or entertaining, don't forget to hit those buttons. This way you help me, encourage me, motivate me to bring you fragrances like this in future that nobody else is talking about. They're amazing value for money, they smell great, and they are hidden gems. Oh, by the way, in terms of age, I would say this one definitely 25 and up. Creed Carmina doesn't have an age, so this one is 25 and up to be in the safe side. And also in terms of occasion, this is definitely for going out, for special occasion, for evening, for formal occasion. This is a special perfume. You cannot just go casual with it. Although you pay for the perfume, you do what you do, nobody can, you know, tell you what to do with it. But for me, in terms of recommendation, this is definitely opulent and is better suited for those occasions rather than just casual. Carmina, on the other hand, it is more versatile. You could use it casual as well as formal occasions. Okay guys, so if you I'm a perfumer myself. I make my own line of perfumes. They call the scent of Persia. The reason is because I bring the ingredients from my country, Iran, Persia. We make one of the best ingredients in the world in terms of perfume oils, but we don't produce that much of it, so we don't export that much. But we've been making perfumes for the last 5,000 years. Yes, Persia, Iran, is one of the oldest civilizations to make perfume oils, and if not the oldest, because I think we are the oldest, and that's why we know what we're doing in terms of perfume oils and things like that. I bring them here and I mix them together to come up with concoctions, to come up with perfumes. Each of them are mesmerizingly beautiful, unique, artistic, very mysterious, 100% natural, amazing value for money, and very, very long lasting, ultra beast mode. But you need to live in United Kingdom in order to purchase them. I cannot post them, unfortunately, outside United Kingdom because the post doesn't allow me to do that. Okay guys, so I leave them in the link as well. Thank you very much, and I see you later. Bye.